Summer lingers in the air, in the sound, open skies, worn boots. One more night before it's gone. Gulls summer send-off.
The Gulls take game one.
And he's looking for the strikeout to put an exclamation point on this series, and he does.
And for the first time in franchise history, the Sylvan Lake Gulls head to the WCBL championship. There will be a new WCBL champion this season. That's got a chance.
A home
Where
run.
is it going?
Good
is it
night.
enough? Yes, it does. Marcus Abelhosen with the walk-off homer.
The Sylvan Lake Gulls have got the dog off their back. They are headed to the WCBL championship final with an 8-4 win.
Another chilly, cloudy day in central Alberta may not be enough to cool down this heated battle between the Fort McMurray Giants and the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you once again tuning in to Gulls Baseball right here on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. I'm Kel Clark, and this is Scott Simpson, as we welcome you into the Gulls Nest for this pregame show ahead of the rematch between both of these clubs. And yes, I said heated battle, Scott, because last night things were getting a little testy down on the field, even though the Sylvan Lake Gulls had that commanding 10-4 victory.
Yeah, the birds were chirping, the Giants were chirping. Maybe there were some birds getting flipped, but it was a pretty interesting game, to say the least. These two teams, this is their first meeting. They don't like each other particularly, but it was a fun game to watch. It was scoreless to start, and then a lot of walks issued, and that's when the vocalness started, and it didn't stop throughout the game.
No, absolutely it didn't. And like I said, Sylvan Lake Gulls 10-4 win, got 5 runs in that one inning, and that's kind of where things started to fall apart for the Fort McMurray Giants. And Ash Amerlin, he kind of walked and loaded all the bases and then walked the scoring run in to take the lead for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So definitely a little bit of an off night for Fort McMurray, but you can definitely know and expect that they're going to be ready to come in guns a-blazing here tonight. Let's take a look at your starting pitcher for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. It's going to be Jordan Clark getting his first start. He has a 1-0 record, 3.12 ERA, just over 8 innings pitched, 9 hits given up, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. So pretty decent numbers there for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and this is who he's going to have to face.
Yeah, he's got Kieta Fujino to start things off, and then Marcus Orocho, Nick Sauve, Brett Patillo, Braden Dick, Arizo Santiago, Arwin Burgos, Jordan Breen, and Miguel Tetreault rounding out the Giants lineup tonight.
And taking a look at the defense for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, Cooper Sizalski back in left field making a great catch last night's game. Charlie Collins going to move over to center field, which is something that we haven't seen in a while. He came and did that a little bit near the end of last night's game. Michael Quick in right field, and then you bring it to the infield. John Boy Rittenhouse over at third back in this lineup. And then you got Tylen Graves at shortstop, Maddox Shaver, and Bryce Turner. And in behind the plate, Eli Duncan. So Jordan Clark starts the first batter, Kieta Fujino, off with a ball. And the second one also inside for a ball. 2-0.
Both have been riding inside and getting a little upstairs here on Fugino. We'll see if Clark can settle in and throw that first strike.
Fugino went 1 for 4 last night's game. And Clark having a tough time finding the strike zone to start things. And he's not wasting any time throwing these balls. It's almost like he's in a hurry. He wants to get in and get out. And it's a 4-pitch walk to start this game.
And no one was really expecting that fourth one to be called a ball there, as the batter Fugino, he was kind of waiting, and call never happened, so off he goes to first base.
And it was funny, you said that, you know, these teams already might show that they don't like each other. Well, this is game 2 of 10 this season, so they're going to have to get used to each other quite a bit here.
The nice thing about divisional baseball.
Yeah, exactly. This ball is popped straight up all the way back behind home plate, and it's caught by Eli Duncan, tracking that down. Way to stay on that play all the way through.
That one was hit sky high right off the bat, and Eli Duncan was tracking it all the way. You look, he's at the right side of the Gulls logo. He almost goes to the left side while coming all the way back to the screen. So he covered a fair amount of ground there, trying to track that ball down, and a good job to get the first out of the game here.
The wind pushing a little bit from the north to the south, so that could help lift some balls out deep in the outfield, maybe even over the wall. We saw 2 homers last night, and again, same thing, but this one going to be going all the way back and landing just past the stadium. This is Nick Sauvé, who also had, speaking of hitting one long, he was the home run hitter. And check down to first. That's Kita Fugino. And this is hit hard, deep center field, going all the way back, and it is off the scoreboard. Fort McMurray gets a good start on the road in game 2 against the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and that one goes yard. Nick Sauvé does it again.
Yes, he did. That was back-to-back games for Nick Sauvé, getting it done with the long ball as he hammered this one. And then yesterday we were humming and hawing on whether balls are going to stay in the park or not. There is no doubt about that one, and nearly the deepest part of the ballpark too. So quite the feat there for Sauvé, a 2-run shot to open up the scoring here in the first.
Yeah, it's almost like he heard me, and I said, well, it'll be interesting to see if we see some go over the fence. Well, that took literally maybe, 2 pitches after I said that to go over?
Yeah.
And this is playable, but a drop there by Duncan as he misjudged that ball. He called even Bryce Turner off, and he didn't make the catch. A little bit of a surprise. Usually when you catch somebody off, you have it, but he makes the call early, and then he misjudges where that ball ends up dropping. So
yeah, he had a beat on it, and obviously wind's a little bit of a factor there as it turned. He had to go to his left quite a bit. Might have been an easier catch for Bryce Turner because that's in front of him the entire time.
Yeah, yeah. It was almost like Duncan had to kind of run, with his back towards the ball and try to catch it over his shoulder, where Bryce Turner was facing that ball all the way. Jordan Clark does a good job, and he settles in, and 3 pitches on Brett Patillo for a strikeout, the first strikeout of the ball game.
It's good when your battery mate has your back there, as he missed that pop fly catch and gets the strikeout anyways 2 pitches later, so good teamwork there to help bounce back from that one, and we're 2 away here now.
We'll bring up Braden Dick, the right fielder for Fort McMurray. Dick went 2 for 4 at the plate yesterday, and he came around to score once. So he had a pretty solid night and outing. But a much better start for Fort McMurray here tonight. They didn't get their first run of the game until the 7th inning. It took them a while.
Kind of picking up where they left off last game, as that's when they got the offense the last couple innings. 7th and 8th inning, they cashed in a few runs.
And that is turned on but fouled on the third baseline. So 0-2 to Braden Dick. Oakville, Ontario product, and he goes down swinging. So Jordan Clark comes back, and he goes back-to-back strikeouts to retire the side. And a nice off-speed pitch moving a little bit down and away from Braden Dick. Sylvan Lake will come to bat and look for a response as the Giants go up by a pair.
Summer lingers in the air, in the sound, open skies, worn boots, one more night before it's gone. Gulls summer send-off.
KJ Jones getting his third start of the season for the Fort McMurray Giants, and he's already 1-1 on the season. He's got 11.2 innings pitched. He's given up 15 hits, 7 strikeouts with a 6.94 ERA. And this is who he's going to have to face for the Sylvan Lake Gulls coming to the plate.
Eli Duncan, Charlie Collins, and Maddox Shaver to start things out. Then Cooper Soselski, John Boy Rittenhouse, Tylen Graves, Bryce Turner, Gavin Galenza, and Michael Quick round out the rest of your order.
Great to see Gavin Galenza being back as a DH, as he was hitting the ball hard last night.
He was.
Arwen Burgos out in left field, Adizel Santiago at center, Braden Dick over in right, and then you can bring it in, Miguel Tetro, Marcus Arocho, Kita Fugino, and over at first, Jordan Breen with Brett Patillo behind the plate catching balls and strikes. So Sylvan Lake with a little bit of a response needed now, finding themselves down early in this ball game. 2-0 Giants lead it. And this brings up Eli Duncan. Duncan went 1 for 4 yesterday. It came around to score as well. And so far he's hitting .390 on the season. He'll ground this to Fugino though as he scoops it up and makes the throw to Breen in time for out number 1. So second pitch, first out.
Kind of a routine ground ball over there to second base. And that one's put out pretty easily for the Giants as they get the first out of the game.
Now here's the Aussie that had a little bit of a sneaky night last night, and you don't usually say that when a guy hits a home run, but he had 4 RBIs and he went 1 for 3 at the plate last night. So see what Charlie Collins can do here tonight, as he of course had a pretty big impact in that ball game. He also came around to score twice himself, so he was part of 6 runs that ended up crossing the plate out of the 10. So 1-1 the count to Collins, and he fouls this back to the screen.
Big part of the game offensively as well as defensively. Had a few balls that he had to track down with the wind that was keeping them in the park that gave him a chance, but he had to run a couple miles to get there, it seemed.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course the big 2-run shot that hit just left of the scoreboard, very similar to what we just saw from Sauvé in the first inning, but on the other side of the scoreboard. So he fights that one off. 1-2 to Charlie Collins. And Sylvan Lake Gulls with 1 down. Fights it off again. 3 consecutive foul balls. Maddox Shaver on deck for Sylvan Lake. bit of a cool, cloudy day yet again here in central Alberta, but it feels a little warmer than it did last night as Collins lifts this into right center field, and it'll be settled underneath by number 11, Diesel Santiago, for out number 2.
Try to hit it into that right center field alley, but wasn't quite able to get under it enough or kind of on top of it to line drive, and makes it an easy pop fly catch for Santiago out in center field.
So that'll bring up Maddox Shaver, who went 1 for 3 last night, had an RBI, came around to score twice, and just to say he's coming into this game with a .455 batting average, but he was gone 12 of the 13 games this season, the first 13 games this season so far, with a hit. He's only had one game where he has not landed a base hit as he hits this right to the shortstop in Marcus Orocho, and he makes the throw in time for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down inning for the Fort McMurray Giants. A great start so far for them. They'll come to the second inning with a 2-0 lead.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Have you ever wondered if there's one thing that connects people from across our province? Something that connects the coffee shop to the spray park, or the brewery to the rodeo, the campground to the sports field. It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected, because it truly is. And it's all we think about, so you don't have to.
Well, let's take a look at your umpires for the evening. Behind home plate, we got Peter Wall at first, Levi Wagner, and over at third, that man right there is our crew chief in Chris Hartley. And fun fact about Chris Hartley, he was just recently presented with a Technical Official Recognition Award at the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame Class of 2026 induction ceremony back on June 6th in Red Deer. He's a elite level official on the ball field, the hockey rink, the volleyball court, you name it. He doesn't just officiate baseball, he does all sorts of different sports. 2025 highlights included umpiring the U18 men's fast pitch Pan Am event in Argentina, where he worked home plate for the championship game. And then he also supervised both the U20 men's fast pitch nationals and Baseball Canada's U13 nationals. And then he also worked, as this is fouled off by number 13, or sorry, this is number 11 as Diesel Santiago. But Hartley also worked as a referee at the Volleyball Canada Youth Nationals and as a referee assistant for the 2025 U19 Men's Volleyball Pan Am Championships in Calgary. So the guy does all sorts of work.
That's quite the resume.
Absolutely.
And pretty elite, too.
Yeah, he's been a part of some big games and some big events, and it's a strikeout for Jordan Clark, his third in a row and third of the night.
Yeah, he jumped out to yet another lead here in the count, and then he finished them off. That was the first ball that was thrown since he walked Fugino, the first batter of the game. He hadn't thrown a ball until this batter, so it's, he's pretty dialed in, needless to say.
And Chris Hartley is also, one of those guys that also helps, assign the 12-team WCBL league with umpires. He's kind of the guy that schedules all the umpires in for every single game across the league. So a big job for him, and he's a very important man in this league as well. So congratulations, Chris.
Yes.
And thanks for being here in Sylvan Lake. Great to see him back here at Gulls Field. So another 1-2 count this time to Arwen Burgos as Jordan Clark is working this inning.
He's in a groove. He's quick. He makes his decisions, and he just delivers.
Working the count 1-2, and that goes up high. Gets him away from Jordan Clark, and he even says, yeah, my bad. Sorry. Just the one hit for the Giants. It was the long bomb. Nick Sauve with a 2-run shot. And this is hit into shallow left center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Arwen Burgos gets on to first for a single.
Yeah, he worked his way back into the swing of things there as he poked that one into the kind of gap between left center field, just a one-hopper into Charlie Collins' glove. Getting on board here for the Giants.
This is exactly what I would expect the Giants to do after a loss last night, 10-4, 5 straight in a row now. You know they're going to be acting more and more desperate as these games go on. And Fort McMurray, as I was mentioning last night, one of those teams that they can be really, really good, and they can also be on the struggling side of things. So you just never know.
I was about to bring that up, and you just brought it in. Nice, easy transition for me. It's a kind of Jekyll and Hyde team. Which one are you going to get? Are you going to get Mr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde?
Yeah. It's like we know each other so well, Scotty.
Yeah.
0-2 to Jordan Breen, the first baseman, and okay. That was a close call. That was a close take.
I was on the same page as you there.
I was watching Peter Wall. It looked like he was gonna call it, and then he held back. He kind of got me with a flinch there. He fooled me. First time I've seen Peter Wall behind home plate here at Gulls Field. This year for sure. As Jordan Breen at the dish, Miguel Tetro. And this goes past as it's a fouled. Is that a strikeout? Oh, it is a strikeout. Okay, I thought that was originally tipped off the bat, but I guess that got away from Eli Duncan, so it's a passed ball. But it will be a strikeout for Jordan Clark, so his 4th K of the night. That'll bring up Miguel Tetro. I think everybody was kind of confused on that. The score clock didn't have it up right away.
Yeah, there's
the
no
K-man is just
no
putting
check
the
in
Ks
that
on.
first base or anything. It was just, okay, I guess he's out.
So 0-1 to Miguel Tetro, third baseman. Runner in scoring position for Fort McMurray. Arwen Burgos advanced to second on that last play. Jordan Clark.
He's dealing.
He is dealing tonight. I mean, ever since you made a good point back in the first inning, he walked the first batter, 4-pitch walk, and then he went the rest of that inning without throwing a ball. And he gets another strikeout. Jordan Clark fired up, and as you should be. 3 more strikeouts in this inning, only giving up the 1 hit, but no runs. And he's fired up. The Sylvan Lake Gulls coming to bat in the bottom of the second. Cooper Szyzelski back in the batter's box after getting off the schneid last night. He went 1 for 3, and he hits this pretty high and foul. A great effort, though. I got to give credit to Jordan Breen. He made a diving play and attempt at that foul ball. It was a long ways to go, and he almost got there.
Yeah, he was tracking that one for a long ways. He was basically the equivalent of being in right field with how far back he had to go just in foul territory, and trying to make a diving save there, but unable to do so, so it's just going to fall down as a strike.
Sylvan Lake down 2-0. Fort McMurray in the lead, and Cooper Szyzelski turns on this, but it is going to stay at the wall with the catch. Arwen Burgos making a jumping catch right at the wall, and that's out number 2. So Fort McMurray has come to play here tonight.
That was a wild ride of a out there for Arwen Burgos, as that one went off the bat pretty hot. It looked like it might have a chance, and boy, did it have a chance. It went all the way back to the wall, but a good play there for Burgos to hang on to that one.
And that would have been huge for Cooper Szyzelski. I mean, like we said, you get off the schneid and you start to get that little bit of, confidence back in your game, and he turned on that ball with a lot of confidence. I thought that had a chance. He got a pretty good hold of it. But
yeah, high-hanging curveball that he just turned on and just barely missed.
Good catch by the left fielder, Arwen Burgos, at the warning track. He made kind of a little bit of a hop near the end. Wasn't sure if he was going to have to go up for it. And that would have just bounced off the wall, I think, as this has popped up. Right to second baseman, Quito Figino, calling everything off. And he makes the catch for out number 2. So quick work defensively for the Fort McMurray Giants so far tonight.
Yeah, thought he was pretty efficient in that first inning, 10 pitches. He's got 2 outs with 5 pitches here in the second. Getting a lot of help from his teammates. That's why they're out there. Just get some fly balls and ground balls, and they'll get the outs.
Graves didn't have the best luck last night at the plate, 0 for 4. So he's looking probably to have a little bit of a rebound game here. He did come around to score himself. He got on base. And Graves hits this into left center field right on cue. Tylen Graves going to try to stretch this to second. He better hurry. And he's safe. All right. Tylen Graves, risky, but with 2 outs, he stretched it as much as he possibly could there.
Yeah, the way this game feels like it's going, you kind of got to push the envelope to get some offense, because both pitchers are wheeling and dealing in a hurry. So good job there to shoot the gap and get would have been an easy single, and just try to stretch that out into 2 bases, and boy, did he do that.
And he just dodged the tag in time. And Bryce Turner at the plate now.
It almost looked like he started the slide a little bit too early, but it ended up working out for him.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, you kind of have to sometimes, especially if the infield's a little damp or wet. And I would think it's probably still not greatly dry. Like, it's probably, I would think it's probably a little wet. And this ball lifted into shallow left field. Is it going to drop in? It is! Tylen Graves will score the Gulls' first run of the ball game, thanks to Bryce Turner just basically sending a blooper into left field.
And that's probably the advantage for Tylen Graves having 2 outs. Just run. You don't have to worry about tagging up. If it falls, you're at home.
Yeah.
And that was the case for Graves, as he was rounding third by the time that ball hit the ground, so he didn't have to worry about getting caught up on that play. But a good piece of hitting there for Turner, and Gulls are clawing their way back into this game.
Well, and again, Tylen Graves, stretching that, extra base really helped pay off. If he didn't do that, this game would still be 2-0 for Fort McMurray.
Yeah, that paid dividends pretty quickly.
Now, Gavin Galenza, here's a guy that came in part of the game last night, partially through, and he did a pretty good job with the bat, as he went 1 for 1. And he hit it hard, too. This is popped up, though, right in front of Fort Mac's dugout, and they will make the catch in foul territory. So that will do it for the inning, but not before the Sylvan Lake Gulls get a couple base hits and a run coming in to score. It is now just a 2-1 Giants lead.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Lots of fun being had here at Gulls Field. Even though it's cool and chilly outside, that's not going to stop the girls who just want to have fun at the ballpark on the berm.
Sun's trying to poke out here. We might have a sunset tonight. We haven't had one of those in a little bit.
What is that? Don't know. Never heard of it. Haven't heard of it in a while. But no, it's a great night here regardless what the weather's doing. Albertans are taking full advantage of what they get, and they're going to be here at the ballpark watching the Sylvan Lake Gulls take on the Fort McMurray Giants on this Wednesday night. Giants with a 2-1 lead over the Gulls, and really Jordan Clark has been, quite incredible to watch. Despite giving up a walk and a 2-run homer, Jordan Clark has been wheeling and dealing here tonight.
Yeah, 5 Ks in the first 2 innings is a pretty solid start to your night, and it seems like we're in a bit of a pitcher's duel. As you look on the other side of things, KJ Jones, he's only thrown 2 balls tonight.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
crazy in 2 innings of work.
He's getting the outs in a little bit of a different way, however.
Yes.
He hasn't had to strike out anybody yet. He's been getting a little bit of help from his defense, but his pitches has been what's also helping the ball be directed in the right direction for his defense to make the play. So back to the top of the batting order, Keita Fugino, who walked last time at bat, is quickly up in the count to potentially walk again. 3-1. He's kind of a hard batter to face. You got to sure find the strike zone on this guy, and then he sends it right up the middle for a base hit. So Jordan Clark's like, okay, I'll throw a strike, but then Fugino connects on it, and he drills this right up the middle.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid hitter, and he's very patient, obviously. He'll get on board however he needs to. And that time he worked the count to his favor and got a bit of a green light there and sent that one onto some grass and made his way to first base.
Yeah, he's coming in tonight hitting .333 on this summer so far with 7 RBIs. So, yeah, he can hit a ball. This brings up Marcus Orocho. And Orocho popped it up right behind home plate where Eli Duncan made a catch on it. Ball swung on, hit on the ground, left field, and that will be a back-to-back base hit for the Giants.
He barreled that one up pretty good. You could see just timing that one perfectly, just getting it over the head of the shortstop in the left field, and just keep the chain rolling. Runners on first and second, no outs.
Nick Sauve, the 2-run homer. Back in that first inning. And he's got 2 base runners on here. And not really surprised Jordan Clark throws that away from him. Doesn't want to give him anything. Nothing easy anyways. Might start to see a little bit of early action in the bullpen already. As a catcher and a pitcher go over the bullpen to get loose. And a good off speed there by Jordan Clark, having Sylvan out in front. 1-1. Giants already up to 4 hits this evening. A little bit of a half swing on that one. Tips it back for a foul.
Kind of saw it yesterday too. They were kind of sneaky ahead in that department, getting some hits on the board. It just took them a while to cash in on it.
Yeah, I mean, they left quite a few runners stranded in last night's game. Not just enough of a piece of that ball to stay alive for Nick Sauvé. Now, if that doesn't tell you how many fans are here right now, I don't know what does, because that goes to show the dedication from this fan base being here on a night that is, again, gloomy, cloudy. It's been kind of rainy on and off all day, yet they're like, no, we're still going to go to the ballpark and we're still going to support these local boys. They're
the diehards, the ones that want to be here night in and night out, and they're obviously an active crowd.
Oh, yeah. And this ball lifted into foul territory. John Boyd Rittenhouse will make the catch on it for finally the first out of this inning. It's taken a little bit of time, but Sylvan Lake finally has got it.
Yeah, good to get that first one off the back there. Now you can kind of settle in and get these next 2 to go, and you do have a double play in order if those circumstances arrive, and that can get you out of the inning here.
So bring up Brett Patillo, who struck out in his last at bat. You know, it was funny. I was at the dentist today, and my hygienist asked me today, and you know, she says, "So, like, there was a game last night?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, what was the attendance like? Couldn't have been that great." I'm like, actually, my broadcast partner said it kind of off the air. Said how much he was surprised with the crowd attendance. We have actually been still getting a decent attendance despite the weather.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, at this point, Central Albertans are just fed up with it. They're like, you know what?
If it's not raining, we're going.
Yeah, we're taking whatever we can get at this point. Summer's too short to stay at home and sit inside. So here's a hit batsman, the first hit batsman of the evening. And that will load the bases with just 1 out. Right on the numbers.
And just takes it off that kind of backside left shoulder. And like you said, bases loaded now. In a bit of a jam here for the Gulls, but they'll take a little bit of time to talk things over between Jordan Clark and Eli Duncan. Try to settle things down and get on the same page here on how they can get out of the inning.
Jordan Clark from Jacksonville, Florida, so definitely weather that he's not used to. Probably having a tough time keeping that hand warm. He's probably like, what is this? I have to throw in absolute chilly weather. I don't think he probably has to deal with this very often, and you got to wonder if that does have an effect on his game a little bit, not being used to such conditions like he's experiencing here in Alberta, Canada. Goes to Hutchinson Community College as well. But yeah, he's got a crowd behind him wanting him to get out of this jam. Bases loaded. Fort McMurray looking to add to their lead. Brett Patillo just with a hit by pitch over at first. Braden Dick cuts underneath that, sending it back to the screen. Good pitch there. The off-speed stuff's working for Jordan Clark. 73 miles per hour on that one. 1-2.
Yeah, batters have been a little hungry on those pitches and have just been way ahead of them.
And a good stop there by Eli Duncan. That gets past him, and that'd be another run coming in a score. So a good stop by the catcher. Count now even, 2-2. And that's away for ball 3, full count. So we got warm-ups in the bullpen for Sylvan Lake, and that's Mason Little. First time we'll see him make an appearance this season, a returning Gull. Coming out of the bullpen. That's fouled off. That one hurt. I always wonder how those would feel. That's got a sting, doesn't it?
You'd think so.
Right off the leg, shin, ankle, whatever it might be. You're starting to see Jordan Clark take a little bit more of his time, hey? Now that he's in a bit of a jam here, and that's, again, another great pitch, but fought off by Braden Dick.
He's trying to keep Dick on his toes there, and the batter's box had some slower pitches, and then he turned it up a notch, 84 miles an hour, and tried to catch him, but not quite successful in that one.
And that is swung on down the third baseline, but it's going to just bounce foul.
Probably a good thing.
For the Giants, absolutely, that's a good thing. Otherwise, they would have got at least one out at home.
If that one's obviously more fair, it's a lot easier of a play for Rittenhouse to double up. You just tap your bag and zip it over to first, and could be out of it.
This is hit to shallow center field, and it's going to be caught by Maddox Shaver. A great play there, and he throws it in, but the run does come into score. Now, are they going to check over to third to make sure he tagged up? Nobody's making any signals to do so, so they're going to trust that Kita Fugino did tag up before running home. And let's take a look at this play again. I thought this was going to land in, and a great catch by Maddox Shaver to get on his horse and get back to make that catch to rob maybe even an extra run scored. So 2 outs. 3-1 Fort McMurray now leads. Adizo Santiago at the plate. Struck out as well last at bat. And that one gets by Duncan. So runners move. Luckily nobody at third on that play. A couple of those gotten away on Jordan, and a couple getting away from Eli Duncan on those.
Haven't really had to pay for it per se, but you don't want more of those close calls happening.
A good pitch there, 82 miles per hour, down and away from Santiago. 1-2. And another strikeout for Jordan Clark to get out of this inning. That's strikeout number 6 on the night for Jordan. But not before the Giants add one more run. They're up 3-1 heading to the bottom of 3.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Yo, Dustin, you going?
Yes.
Can I join you guys? All right, let's go.
it's on the ice or on our app. Always play for the fun of the game. Gamble responsibly with Play Alberta.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, baseball fans at home, the sun has come out here at Gulls Field. Feels like forever since we've seen the sun. In fact, it feels like probably since Sunday that we have seen the sunshine here in Sylvan Lake. But great to have the sun peeking through the clouds and, making everybody, I'm sure, a little bit happier to be in attendance for this ball game. Giants up 3-1. Cale Clark here with Scott Stimpson. You're watching Gulls Baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. Michael Quick will lead things off and round out the batting order before it goes back to the top for Eli Duncan and Charlie Collins, the scheduled batters in this third inning, down 2 runs. Michael Quick came in at about the 3/4 mark of last night's game and went 1 for 2 at the plate. He's quickly up in the count, 2-0. Three-0 count. Now this was the inning last night. Sylvan Lake exploded in the right way.
And it started just like that with a walk.
Exactly. Kind of where I was going with that.
And also, he hadn't really thrown many balls in this game. He pretty much just tripled the amount of balls that KJ Jones has thrown. He had 2 in the first 2 innings, and then he just threw 4 there. So he was pretty dialed in to start, and pretty kind of similar to what we saw on the other side with Jordan Clark on the bump, being dialed in the first couple innings.
So Eli Duncan will take that for a strike all the way. And that's what Sylvan Lake just did in that third inning. They literally watched the ball go by them 16 straight times.
Yes.
Until a run came in to score and a new pitcher came on the mound. So 1-1 to Duncan. Played at third base last night. Now he's behind the plate tonight. And getting a nice little break tonight is Coleman Perry over at first as Bryce Turner fills in. That's a nice thing Sylvan Lake kind of has in their inventory bag, is knowing that they can sit guys, they can rest some guys, they can get other guys in the game, and they're going to do just as good. They got some pretty good depth on this team this year.
They certainly do, and they can do it at pretty well any position as well. They can go in the outfield, they can change the infield out. You got a couple guys, it doesn't matter where you play them, they're just going to play. They'll be happy to do that. And also they got some pretty good bats to go along with it. I think that might be kind of the hard part as well, because defensively there's a lot of guys who are holding their own. It's just, well, maybe we need the edge offensively.
And it's a strikeout to Eli Duncan for out number 1. So a good recovery there by the pitcher and KJ Jones coming in. After walking Michael Quick, he comes back and strikes out Duncan.
Gets his first strikeout of the game as well with that.
Mm-hmm.
The center fielder, number 34, Charlie Collins.
Charlie Collins back at the plate, flew out to the center fielder his last at bat. And he takes a good cut at that one, fouling this just past our producer's trailer. Green Onion Media, those are the guys that put on this incredible broadcast you are watching right now at home from the comfort of your couch or wherever you may be watching in from. Would not be possible without Green Onion Media. So we got to give kudos to those guys. Calvin and his team do terrific work every single night. We are so fortunate and lucky that we have these guys. We're lucky that when people come here and visit this park and they comment and compliment the broadcast, it's because of Calvin and his team that make us guys in the broadcast booth look good. So good job, Green Onion Media, and it's another strike to Charlie Collins, 0-2.
And with that, they make our jobs a lot easier as well because they show us a lot of replays.
They do.
They're timely ones, too.
They are timely ones. I'll never forget the first time it was a playoff. I can't remember what year. Calvin might remember that we brought in the replays. Because before we didn't have the replays, it was just whatever we saw live, that's what we saw. And there was nothing. And so Calvin, with the playoffs, wanted to let's try to, bring in some replays, bring in an extra body or two. And this is hit hard right field, but this is going to be settled underneath by Braden Dick, and they got to throw it in. But a good job by Michael Quick to get back in time. About 2 years ago is what Calvin just mentioned to me as we get a chance to look at the replay. Speaking of which, and good catch by Braden Dick. And Michael Quick, he wasn't tagging up. He thought maybe that was going to drop in, so he was going to try to take advantage of that as much as possible, but he had to quickly turn around in a hurry. So a little meeting here on the mound after that play. Surprising, and the meeting that happens is actually Jordan Breen from first base comes in to chat, and you almost wonder if there's something here that they're going to be wanting to keep an eye on with Michael Quick. So Maddox Shaver at the plate, grounded out to the shortstop, his last at bat. Michael Quick does have a decent lead over at first. He's got kind of 1 foot out of the cutout. I'm sure that's kind of what Fort McMurray is probably keeping an eye on right now. And you know what? Michael Quick, he'll take that if you can kind of get into the pitcher's head a little bit with, and that little meeting on the mound just, moments ago might have been enough to get in his head a little bit to now be cautious of what they're talking about. And you can kind of see Michael Quick's got a decent lead over at first. And this is hit on the ground again, this time the third baseman Miguel Tetreault, and he makes the throw in time for the third out. So a 4-up, 3-down inning. And just the one walk, no harm done there by the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and they will come to the field in the top of the fourth when we come back.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus the WCBL report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
3-1 Fort McMurray leads it over the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Jordan Clark back on the mound for his 4th inning of work. And, you know, they're starting to warm up a pitcher. Tough to say if he's going to get another full inning of work or not, but I guess it just depends on how this inning plays out, as this is lifted into foul territory, and settling underneath of it is Bryce Turner for out number 1. So first pitch of the inning, first out. All right. That'll work.
That'll help out his case to get one more inning.
Yeah.
First pitch, first out. Do that a couple more times, and you just bought yourself a 4th inning.
And you know what? He's had a good game for the most part. I mean, he's given up 4 hits on the night. A 2-run homer. But he's had 6 Ks.
Yeah, 4 hits, 3 runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And that's what kind of the, I guess, key to the success for the Sylvan Lake Gulls has been over these last 3 games is good starts and getting good pitching from your pitchers on the mound. So they've been kind of getting that. Just this is a little bit of a different start in a way, as this is grounded right to Shaver and picks it up and will throw it over in time to Turner for 2 away.
Yeah, Breen was really reaching for that one to keep it in play. Didn't want to just strike out, be the 7th one of the game, as he just pokes that one and just tries to probably foul it off more than anything. But it rolls over to second base where Shaver makes the play over to Turner in time to quickly have 2 away here in the 4th.
And Breen kind of made that interesting. He actually kind of had some wheels down the first. That was a lot closer than you think it should have been. See, last night, those pitches were probably getting called strikes, as Peter Wall calls that a ball. I think it was it Levi Wagner that was behind the plate last night?
It was, yes.
And so, yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get different umpires, different calls, different, eyes on zones, everything like that. Miguel Tetro, 1-1 the count. And a good pitch there by Jordan Clark. Up high inside.
With how these batters are swinging against the changeup that Jordan Clark has, they must look identical to his fastball coming out of his hand, because they're looking silly with it.
Yeah. I mean, he's got some pretty cool tools in the toolkit.
Yes.
And that somehow just misses. Wow, that was close. I mean, I thought maybe that was going to be a strikeout to end the inning. But a full count instead to Miguel Tetro. Jordan Clark wants to make it 7. And last second call off here.
Saw Clark rolling through a couple pitch choices with Duncan, and it might have just messed up a little bit with the timing there of Tetro, and he called a quick timeout.
And a swing and a miss as Jordan Clark has some words coming off the mound. That's 7 Ks on the night for number 24. What a night it's been. Gulls coming to bat. this is a start for KJ Jones as well for the Fort McMurray Giants, giving his team a really good chance here, up by 2 runs now. You know, it's like you said, it's kind of been a pitching duel in a way. And KJ Jones just with the 1 run given up.
That was his 36th pitch of the night, and he's into the 4th inning.
Yeah.
That's pretty efficient when you're doing 10, 11 pitches an inning.
Yeah, impressive.
Certainly setting your team up for success.
Cooper Szyzelski, his last at bat, he hit this to deep left field, but it was caught right at the wall. And so, you know, he'll be looking to kind of maybe get a charge in the bats here for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, get some momentum rolling in the right direction, because John Boy Rittenhouse is the next scheduled batter, as is Tylen Graves. And that is, those are some pretty good hitters in your lineup. And that's another thing, you know, the batting, you're getting some key at-bats from different guys all the way up and down the lineup with this roster, as he's taken all the way on that 3-0 count. I mean, every night could be a different night. There's nights where Maddox Shaver's on fire. Then there's nights where John Boy Rittenhouse is playing hero. And, you know, nights where Gavin Glenza comes in and he's getting some really good at-bats. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that can do things here. And that was...
I think I'm with Cooper on that one. I didn't quite see that one, but...
That hasn't been called much tonight. In fact, there's been a lot closer to the zone that we're getting no calls on pitches. So full count to Szyzelski, and he reaches for this one. Very similar pitch. It's flying, and it's going to drop in. Slippery out in the outfield as the second baseman, Kita Fujino, was going back for it, but right before that ball came down, took a spill.
Is that one of those ball don't lie moments?
Yeah,
that's just an unfortunate slip, as Fujino just got a little ahead of it, tried to slam on the brakes, and brakes didn't quite engage on that one as he had his feet slide out from under him. But if you're Szyzelski, you'll take that one. You're on base.
Absolutely. So John Boy Rittenhouse now at the plate, and he takes a big cut at it, just missing. 0-1. Yeah, I like how you said ball don't lie moment. Yeah, it might have been one of those moments, honestly. Tough break for Fort Mac. And yeah, that's being called consecutively. And that's why Cooper Szyzelski took a swing in the last one, because he's like, well, it was called on the last one. It's probably going to get called if I let that go again. They definitely got to reach for it.
Picks up his second hit of the season, and it's kind of odd that you see that and you look at his on-base percentage, and he's getting on base every 3rd time.
Yeah.
So it's not like he hasn't been productive. He just wasn't getting hits. He was getting walks, hit by pitches, and finding his way to get on the bases, just not with the bat necessarily.
John Boy Rittenhouse lifting this straight off the fist, straight up in the air, and he knows it. That's going to be caught by Arocho for the first out of the inning. But yeah, back-to-back nights for Cooper Szyzelski to get a base hit now, and now he's starting to roll. Tylen Graves comes up to the plate. He hit that double back in the 2nd inning and then came around to score. So we'll see if Tylen Graves can keep things going. Runner at first. And he wanted to send that a long way, the way he swung out of his shoes.
He's a guy who can do it too. A lot of these guys can hit the long ball.
Yeah, Graves already with a pair of home runs on the season. And he hits this into center field for another base hit.
Good job for Graves there to get on board. It's back-to-back hits for him. So he's starting to get a hot bat once again for the Gulls.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, I felt like Tylen Graves didn't have his best night last night. You know, I think he just a little bit of an off night. You're going to get that with a lot of guys, right? Anybody can have an off night. Felt like last night was a little bit of an off night for Tylen Graves, and then he comes into tonight, and it's just completely different story. He is really getting off to a heck of a start here on this Wednesday night.
It's kind of also unfair for him because he's been pretty darn good.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
An off night for him is still a pretty good night.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he still came around to score in last night's game.
Made quite a few defensive
And
plays
he made
as
some
well.
good defensive plays, yeah. Absolutely. I guess off night with the bat maybe is as far as I could go with it. He still was pretty good defensively. And Turner turns on this. Left field, and it's out of here! A line drive that had enough heat and height on it to get over the left field wall. I didn't know if it was going to make it, but a 3-run shot. And just like that, the Sylvan Lake Gulls take their first lead of the ball game.
Exactly what the doctor ordered there. You get a few bats on balls, couple singles to get the chain going, and he turned on that one. That just lined out of the ballpark. That was gone in a hurry. No wind to stop that one tonight.
Well, we know Bryce Turner can hit homers because he did that in the preseason game against the Red Deer Riggers, and that's now finally his first home run of the WCBL summer.
Good time to get it. All of a sudden, you're out to a lead in this game now with that.
That was what the Gulls needed. And Gavin Galenza now, the DH with one away. And Galenza hits this on the ground. Miguel Tetro makes the throw in time to retire Galenza.
Kind of a bit of a sigh of relief in a way for the Gulls, as we saw them get one guy on base but just unable to do anything with it, and we see the first guy get on board, Saselski, with that base hit, and then Graves follows it up a couple batters later, and then Turner gets a hold of that one.
So Michael Quick back at the plate, walked in his last at bat, and he ended up stranded over at first. You know, that was such a deceiving home run too by Bryce Turner. I honestly thought Cooper Sazelski's hit was, you know, going to have more of a chance than what Bryce Turner's looked like, but a line drive, and he got a lot of wood on that ball, and it was out of here in a hurry. One and one to Quick. Oshawa, Ontario kid, goes to Bradley University. One of those veteran players that come in to kind of mentor the Sylvan Lake Gulls young roster. Takes a pretty good cut at that one. Even in the count, 2-2. Hits now 5-4 favoring Sylvan Lake. And a 3 spot in the 4th inning.
Put a pretty good dent into the pitch count as KJ Jones came in with 35 pitches coming into this inning, and now he's up to 55 at this point. Obviously, a few hits and a home run will do that.
Yeah. Now, the Sylvan Lake Gulls may have finally solved KJ Jones. But you know what? I don't see any action in the bullpen for Fort McMurray, so he may be getting, well, probably will be getting another inning. Quick cuts over top of this one right to Fagino, who will field it and throw it in time for out number 3. But the Sylvan Lake Gulls do some damage and finally take the lead for the first time tonight. A nice homer by Bryce Turner will get them back on top. Well, this is a familiar face, and it's good to see him back getting his first taste of summer ball back in Sylvan Lake for another season, his second summer. And it's Mason Little on the mound as Mason hails from Memphis, Tennessee, goes to Southwest Tennessee Community College, and great to have him back. But some good start and good work by the starter, Jordan Clark. My goodness, he was wheeling and dealing. Yeah, did he get in a little bit of trouble? Sure. But to put up 7 strikeouts on the night is incredible for anybody. And you know what? He did a lot of great work here tonight. Yeah, did he give up a home run? Sure. Did he give up a walk? Sure. But just the one walk.
Yep.
And, you know, a few hits, sure. But he really battled back by striking out quite a few batters. So
he certainly did. He faced 18 batters, 1 walk, 4 hits, 3 runs, and like you said, 7 strikeouts on 68 pitches. A pretty solid night for him. He was pretty efficient the first couple of innings, and then the way he closed out the game was pretty solid. Went 3 up, 3 down, and closed out the books with a strikeout. Yeah. So a really good start for the Gulls, and then his team helps him out in the bottom of the 4th there to grab a lead, and that certainly makes your stat line look a lot better when you can finish or exit the game with a lead.
Yeah, and a way to exit with a strikeout as well on top of that. This is hit on the ground. Graves will stop it, trying to make the throw. Is it in time? It is! Wow!
The Gravedigger back at it again.
The Gravedigger is back at it. I didn't think there was any way that this kid was going to be able to get it over in time, and he makes an incredible stop, and he gets it there just in time. What an arm by Tyler Graves, and what a night Tyler Graves is having himself here tonight.
I think I said something similar last night. I'm just impressed that he knocked down the ball to keep it in front of him, let alone have a shot at getting the out, and this time he got the out.
Yeah.
Like, just impressive from the shortstop there. He's quite the ball player, that's for certain.
It's fun to watch. Marcus Orocho, the second batter to come up, and the number 2 batter in this lineup, as he will lift this into right center field. That will drop for a base hit. So Marcus Orocho with back-to-back base hits. And that's the first hit given up by Mason Little this summer. But let's take a look at Mason Little's numbers as we watch this play one more time. And yeah, just a good contact, finding the hole. But Mason Little last year, you know, he had a pretty good summer with the Sylvan Lake Gulls. He had 12 games, 1 start. He played 34 innings, 29 strikeouts, and he had a 3.71 ERA. So pretty good numbers that he had last year to now carry over into this year. You know, try to, you know, even improve from there.
And he had a pretty good college season on top of that, so he's putting some back-to-back seasons together, summer, fall, winter. Had a 6.75 ERA at University of Tennessee Martin. Badgers are hitting .261 against him in 22 2/3 pitched.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
See how he can carry it into Sylvan Lake summer ball here. And he's quickly up the count, 1-2 on Sauve.
Another off-speed pitch that Sauve got way ahead of. And that's kind of similar to the last pitcher that we saw with Jordan Clark.
That one takes a hop in the turf, evening the count. Orocho over at first, Brett Patillo on deck. Hits now even, 5 apiece. That's one thing that the Giants we've seen already this year can do. They can hit the ball. They can land base hits. And this is hit high in the air. This will go right to the right fielder. Michael Quick settling underneath him for the catch. So out number 2.
Good read for Michael Quick out in right field to settle underneath that and make the catch. Get 2 away and look to now get out of the inning here in the 5th.
Patillo reached on base last at bat by being hit with the ball right on the numbers. A new pitcher, Mason Little, getting his first inning of work. And they said he went around on that check swing. As the appeal from Levi Wagner says so. I think the fans are enjoying this game a little bit more than they did last night, with just weather-wise.
Yeah, it helps when you can watch a game with your sunglasses on now.
Yeah.
Makes it feel a little less cold.
Feels, yeah, might start to feel a little bit more enjoyable, absolutely. I mean, the only downfall, it's not Toonie Dog night like it was last night.
Yeah.
That could have been real deadly. This is hit right to Tylen Graves, where things have gone to die this year, and Tylen Graves continuing to have himself a night. Great inning of work for Mason Little coming into this game, and the Sylvan Lake Gulls are up 4-3 thanks to plays like this. Well, history being made in the WCBL here tonight. After last night's decision, the Board of Governors of the Western Canadian Baseball League have voted unanimously in favor of allowing the Energy City Cactus Rats to play all home games at the Energy City Metro Ballpark in Spruce Grove for the remainder of the season. And they start off the game with a strikeout, or a strike, I should say. And then just a couple batters later, the Okotoks Dogs score the very first set of runs at the Energy City Metro Ballpark with a 2-run homer for the Okotoks Dogs.
And they were in a bit of a rain delay in and out before the game, and not long after that home run was hit, honestly. At their top of the third, Dogs still up 2-0 in that game, but it's good to see Energy City playing at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have them. You know, and that's great for the league. You know, you want to see that. I know everybody was waiting for it, wanting it, and yeah, it's great to see the league making that decision. And baseball's being played in Spruce Grove finally.
And I can't wait for the next steps. And I'm sure their fans are too. They can't wait to get in that ballpark once it's completed.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a beautiful facility, that's for sure. As Duncan down 0-2 so far to lead things off here in the bottom of the fifth. 1-2-3 batters scheduled to come to the plate here in this inning. Good take there by Duncan, even in the count 2-2 now, but yeah, great to see Energy City obviously back playing baseball. And of course, it was almost like the weather was playing tricks on them tonight. It's like, oh, are we going to be playing baseball? Eli Duncan sends this to right field deep, all the way back off the wall it goes, and he's going to be turning 2. He's going for 3, and it's going to be a triple for the Sylvan Lake Gulls and Eli Duncan.
He just hit that to the exact right part of the ballpark, and he turned on the Jets as well, as he hit that one deep right field off the bat as it goes over the head of the right field. You're having to chase that one down, takes a bounce off the wall, and then he found high gear around in first base, turned second and straight into third, and almost had an opportunity for a stand-up triple, but a pretty good show there for Eli Duncan. Now he's got a good chance for the rest of his offense to help him out and bring him home, as Collins was trying to get him home in a hurry.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first triple of the season for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, from what I can see.
My math supports that.
I'm glad it does. This is drilled right into the gap, and it's going to be another run scored. Charlie Collins driving in Duncan after that triple. Comes in and adds to the lead. Now 5-3. Sylvan Lake takes it, and the bats are starting to come alive.
Certainly are. Quick work there for Charlie Collins. He had a big cut at the first pitch, and then he settled things down and just pokes that one right by the shortstop. Infield was in there, as they didn't want any small ball driving that one in, as Collins will drive in the run anyways with that single.
So Maddox Shaver steps into the batter's box, and here's another guy you don't really want to get hot, as things are just going well right now for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and Shaver takes a pretty good cut of that one, missing 0-1.
And with that, now we see a little bit of activity going on in the Giants bullpen, which until this point, KJ Jones hasn't really given them any reason to.
No, exactly. KJ Jones is having a heck of a night. He had a great start, and then, you know, after the batters have come around a couple times to see him, they're starting to maybe get a little bit of an idea of what he's doing, figuring him out a little bit.
Yeah, this is the third time through the order, and that's for both Duncan and Collins. That's their first hits of the game, so they're starting to figure things out here.
And this is popped up behind home plate, and look out here as it lands just wide of a young girl that wasn't paying attention. That was lucky. That would have hurt if that fell on the noggin. But someone got a souvenir out of it anyways, so that's good.
That's like a Black Folds Pirate came away with that one.
Good news. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So 0-2 to Maddox Shaver, and as we were mentioning, there might be some more what's going on in the bullpen, and it looks like it's going to be number 40 warming up.
As we get a look there, it's Mark Torr getting his arm warmed up.
Good take there by Shaver. And Mark Torr was the guy that coming into last night's game was leading the Giants with strikeouts.
One of their go-to pitchers, it seems like.
Yeah. Ball hit softly to just shallow right field, and the second baseman, Kita Fagino, coming over to make the catch for out number 1 of this inning.
This time he didn't overplay it and trip up on it.
Yeah.
Had his solid footing there. Record the out, get the first one of the inning.
Well, that's at least one guy that the Fort McMurray Giants are keeping pretty quiet so far in the last 2 games, is Maddox Shaver. 0-for-3 on the night. So Cooper Soselski comes in. He's 1 for 2. And they're sending the runner. Charlie Collins gets picked off. Great throw by the catcher and Brett Patillo to get it there in time.
Yeah, great pop from Patillo, and he gunned that one down in a hurry.
Yeah.
Over to Fugino as he applies the tag, and Collins slides right into it. He had a pretty decent jump, but Patillo's arm just wasn't a match right now.
And, you know, actually, on that play, Charlie Collins, as he's running to second, he did take a peek over his shoulder, look at the catcher. I think he knew right away he was kind of dead on that play. So a great throw and a great execution by the Fort McMurray Giants. That's a huge out that they may have needed there. It's Cooper Soselski now, 0-2. And they try to frame it. Good take by Soselski.
Take some pressure off as well. No one on the base paths now. And like you said, you get that second out and you're a pitch away from getting out of the inning.
And Sosielski will lift this high right to the third baseman, who it's staying foul, and it's going to be caught anyways. So 3 outs, but not before the Sylvan Lake Gulls with a big bat at the top of the inning, and Charlie Collins driving them in. So they add another run. It's 5-3 over the Giants when we come into the 6th inning. Braden Dick will lead things off here for the Fort McMurray Giants in the top of the 6th inning. Dick, Santiago, and Burgos, the scheduled batters. Sylvan Lake Gulls up 5-3 now. And you got to love the way the Sylvan Lake Gulls have battled in this ballgame. I mean, they go down early and they chip away a little bit. They get a run back, and then Giants go back up by a pair, and then just the 4th inning, things go right in a big way, in a hurry. Bryce Turner turns on one to gain the Gulls' first lead. It goes over the fence, and next thing you know, now they're playing with the lead. So kind of a fun game to watch here at Gulls Field on this Wednesday night Western Canadian Baseball League action at its finest.
And it's turned into a quite lovely night here.
Yeah.
Sun's out.
Hey, Scotty, I didn't have this on my bingo card.
We're going to have to make a bingo card one of these games, fill it out, and then actually go through it and see if we get a bingo.
There's a bingo for Braden Dick as he lands this as a base hit in the gap of left center field. Or puts it right into shallow left field, I should say. That's what Fort McMurray does. They find ways to still get on base and drive in some timely hits. So Diesel Santiago, one of the few guys that is without a hit this game, and he lines it right to Graves, who flips to Shaver with the throw at time for the double play.
The hits don't matter when you can wipe him off with that double play. 6-4-3, making it look easy. Graves flipping it over to Shaver and to Turner in time. That's just beautiful defensive baseball to watch here for the Gulls. It's just poked right to short, flip it, turn it.
Yeah, those guys really don't miss.
No.
Yeah. So a good defensive play there by the Gulls. Quickly up 2 out now. And Arwin Burgos 1 for 2 on the night. And he will hit this up the middle for a base hit.
And that double play, that makes that hit look a lot different when it's just a single to get a runner on instead of maybe someone who's rounding third.
Yeah, exactly. Hits are even at 7 right now. It's a little bit of a hitting battle between these two teams. That'll bring up Jordan Breen, 0 for 2. And seeing some warm-ups being signaled towards the bullpen from Matt Hape as he just gave the bullpen a signal, so I'm thinking they're going to start warming up another pitcher. As Mason Little hits the 20 mark on his pitch count. Maybe giving him just a short night of work so that he can maybe be ready for probably, I would think, the weekend.
Yeah, if you can have a pretty quick 2-inning outing, that's going to help your team pretty good.
I know some of these guys that come up from these colleges and universities, they're on pitch counts. They're also on inning counts, too, depending on what comes first. Kai Rempel, I know he's on a 3-inning or about 50 pitch count watch. And this hit right to John Boy Rittenhouse for out number 3. So, sure, there were 2 base hits in that inning, but no runs scored. And the Sylvan Lake Gulls will come back to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. New pitcher on the mound for the Fort McMurray Giants, and that is going to be the guy that's pretty much second in strikeout leading. That is Mark Torr, number 40. And Mark Torr comes from Homer Glen, Illinois, Edgewood University product. And you know what? Torr's, yeah, he's a guy that has had 10.2 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 5.91 ERA. He's given up 12 hits and 7 earned runs this summer so far. And he's going to face the guy that retired the top half of this inning, John Boy Rittenhouse. 0 for 2 on the night. I'm hearing a lot of passionate girls and fans right now. They're getting involved with Jared Waldo, too, I'm pretty sure, on the mic. I've kind of heard something in between innings that they're getting a cheer going on, and they're cheering real loudly right behind the dugout. Yeah. There's the girls that you're hearing on your TVs back at home.
Having a grand old time at the ballpark tonight. There's a couple of teams in attendance.
Yeah, I think that
looks to be one of them.
Got to be one of them. And bringing some team spirit to the ballpark. I love it. Good job, ladies.
Rocky Sun Devils, it looks like.
Yeah, that's great. Rocky Mountain House, not far from here. Just a little west. John Boy Rittenhouse sending it west past the bullpen. I think he was trying to send that one to Rocky Mountain House there. 0-2. Fort Mac staying well within this game. Looking to get some big pitching from Mark Torr, who comes inside on John Boy. That evens the count. Good take. When you see two balls go to the outside and then right away one comes inside, really fools you.
And Patillo was trying to make his case to say, hey, I think that was a strike, and you kind of heard the Giants bench as well.
And this is lined right down the line. Stays fair. John Boy Rittenhouse is going for extra bases here. A stand-up double for John Boy Rittenhouse. Drills it right down the line fair. Great at bat for John Boy.
How many times have we seen that from Rittenhouse already this season? Just ropes one around third base and gets a double in the process with that one.
That was awesome. That was a great hit ball.
Good way to start off the Gulls side of the sixth.
And this brings up a batter that has been feeling it all night long with the glove, with the bat. He's 2 for 2, and he's made some incredible plays already defensively as well. Tylen Graves steps into the batter's box. He's had a double, he's had a single, he checks his swing, and they're going to say he's okay.
It's pretty hard to check your swing, and you look over, and no umpire there. He's at second.
Yeah, he's at second right now. Yeah, Jordan Breen looked to his left. Oh, no, there's nobody there.
I'm going to call it a strike. If you want my opinion.
Yeah. And I love that the girls are right behind the dugout too, like just above the players, just giving them the energy. That's hilarious. Graves lifts this foul. Foul ball is brought to you by Clearview Glass. This broadcast brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake, and the score bug on your screen brought to you by Stringham Law, league partner of the WCBL. The girls still having fun. 1-2, and Graves lifts this into right field. They're going to hold up the runners. What a night Tylen Graves is having himself here this evening. I think I already said that twice, and I just continue to say it because Tylen Graves is just on fire right now.
Yeah, some use the word perfect. 3 for 3, and defensively as well, having a pretty solid night.
So that'll bring up Bryce Turner, who's also so far perfect. And he's had 4 RBIs on the night. An RBI single and a 3-run homer for Bryce Turner. He tips this back. Foul. So the number 6 and number 7 batters have done some damage here tonight against the Giants.
Player of the game might be a coin toss between the two tonight.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. It's like, oh my, like they're fighting for it, that's for sure. And Turner holds back, but then he fires it and hits this foul right into the old patio area of the Gulls field.
Can see why he got ahead of that pitch. 66 miles an hour on the radar gun. That's a changeup.
You can see that he hesitated even in that swing. He kind of held back even an extra little second, and that's, I think, what was enough to foul it off.
But you can still see the power in that.
Oh, yeah.
Like if he had that timed up, goodbye to that one.
Yeah. Mark Torr with a really nice off-speed pitch. Checks down over at first on Tylen Gray still 0 down here with runners on the corner.
Got to be careful on those check-ins, because if you don't line that up, that's a run-in.
Yep. And it's a hit and run play as Bryce Turner adds another RBI to the list. Make that 5 on the night, and perfect with the bat, 3 for 3.
Going to the steakhouse after the game, and what's he going to get? A couple ribeyes, I bet. He pokes another one into left field, and it's his 5th one. Eat him up, eat him up, eat him up.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a new one. That's good. I give you props. That was well done. Scotty Stimson, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be here all night. So we got a little meeting on the mound here for Fort McMurray, as the Sylvan Lake Gulls now with still 0 outs away, 6-3 lead over the Giants.
They've had their way so far with Torres. That's 3 straight hits against him as he entered the game. It's probably a little bit uncharacteristic for him.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that meeting on the mound kind of buys them a little bit of time in the bullpen as well, because they got no outs. So it's kind of let things get kicked up another notch here.
And Sam Hyland getting loose from Frisco, Texas. So that buys him some time, like you mentioned. That'll bring up Gavin Galenza. He's 0 for 2. You know, it's a matter of time. He might do some damage with a bat. And he squares up to a bunt, trying to play the small ball. And they're going to say that he didn't go around on that play.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, he held that back at the very last second. Even though he crossed right in front of home plate, even it all was, he still somehow managed to let that go by. And he bunts it down. Scoop from the third baseman, and they make the play in time, but the job is done there by Gavin Galenza as he advances the runners in both scoring position.
Well executed bunt there. He did the job to advance the runners, and it was almost good enough to get himself on board as well, but he got the productive out that the Gulls were looking for. Now both runners are going to be in scoring position here for Michael Quick, as it looks like we're going to have a meeting of a lot of minds here.
So the umpires are also getting a little bit of a meeting out of this. Now, the pitcher was heading, and he is heading out, but the ball hasn't been taken by the pitcher yet. Now it is, but the umpires were also meeting about something as well during that little break. But a new pitcher will come in, and he'll get loose. That'll be the quick night for Mark Torr. Will step aside while this new pitcher gets loose. So the new pitcher that comes into this ball game is going to be number 12, Sam Hyland from Frisco, Texas. goes to Kansas Wesleyan University. And he's going to take on Michael Quick here, who's 0 for 1. Got on base with a walk back in the 3rd inning. And runners at 2nd and 3rd. And a pinch runner is going to come in here over at 2nd for Bryce Turner. And that's going to be number 14, Elijah Hamill. So Gulls with a 6-3 lead, just one away here in the bottom half of this 6th inning. Now 3 straight innings where they've scored a run to take the lead and then kind of run away with the lead a little bit. And Quick comes around on that one. And a kind of unique delivery here from this pitcher in Sam Hyland. Kind of wraps all the way around his body and kind of sidearms it in there.
I was about to mention that a completely different arm angle that the Gulls are looking at. Gives them some time to adjust to it.
Oh, and that pegs Michael Quick right in the right leg. So he is going to load the bases here for Eli Duncan. And it comes all the way around and just a little bit of a late release on that throw. Well, the sun went back under a cloud, but it's still blue sky. There's some blue skies out above Gulls Field. So Eli Duncan, last at bat, hit that big triple opposite field hit to the right side. It was something to watch, went over everybody's head. And then he came in to score. And he hits this a little bit off the fist, but it'll be foul. Land on a pretty open berm to the right side. Not a lot of fans on the berms necessarily, but majority at the picnic tables and some down in the club seating, and of course the suites upstairs here all filled up pretty good.
Pretty good turnout tonight here at Gulls Park.
Absolutely.
Considering the weather too. Not the greatest of nights you want to be out, but when you think about it, you're dreaming of days like this in the middle of February.
You sure are. We will provide you a fan attendant update here in the next inning to start off the 7th.
I love the chants there from the girls behind the dugout.
You got a piece of it. You got a P-I-E-C-E of it.
Man, you kind of want to watch them play a game.
I know.
If that's the energy they're bringing here.
I might have to get their schedule after this game and maybe make my drive out to Rocky Mountain House. That just makes my day. Eli Duncan strikes out, though, for the 2nd time tonight.
That ball had some movement on it.
Wonder what the guys in front think of their chance. Charlie Collins now back at the plate. Had that RBI single in the 5th. It's 1 for 3. And that one is a great breaking ball away from Collins. Good pitch, 72 miles per hour on him. Runners in scoring position, full bases loaded situation with 2 down. Fort Mac trying to get out of this hole here. And a very similar pitch to the last one. Collins said, all right, I already swung at that one last time.
Just with that delivery, it almost seems like some exaggerated movement because it's so far onto that third base side that he's releasing it.
Yeah, it's coming left or right at you. And then when it's a fastball, it comes dead straight. It's that'd be a hard thing to read out of the pitcher's hand.
Especially when you're used to seeing a different arm angle the previous 5 innings.
Yeah. Now a 3-1 count to Collins. Bases loaded. A walk would drive in a run. And there you see it there. I'm sure Collins might be, it'd be interesting. Might be taken all the way here. No, he's going to drill it. Center field, it's going all the way back, but it's going to be caught. Adizel Santiago helps relieve the pressure that the Sylvan Lake Gulls were pouring on in a bases loaded situation. But the Sylvan Lake Gulls do add one more run in that inning, and now up by 3, 6-3 to the top of the 7th we go. You're watching Gulls baseball. To the bottom of the batting order we go to lead things off here in the top half of the 7th inning. Miguel Tetro, who's 0 for 2, and he lays down a bunt, but it comes foul. Right to Eli Duncan. So Fort McMurray kind of maybe just trying a different strategy here to lead things off to just get some runners on base. Down 3 runs.
This is basically the same point yesterday where they were trying to do the same thing, just manufacture some runs. They didn't have anything to this point in the game. Tonight they have 3 runs to show for, but they're at that point where they've seen quite a few zeros and not a lot of batters. In the last 3 innings, they've had 2 more than the minimum.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've had a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, great start by Fort McMurray. I mean, they came in and got things rolling in the right direction, and then Sylvan Lake slowly shut them down.
They worked themselves back into a ball game and took a 6-3 lead here into the 7th, the Gulls.
We noticed in the break there we have some defensive changes, Scott.
Yeah, Coleman Perry over at first base now as Elijah Hamill came in as a pinch runner for Bryce Turner. As there you see Perry back at his usual spot. So I'm wondering if it's kind of a double switch, if he might have come in for Galenza. I guess we'll find out when we get to that point in the lineup. But a nice strikeout there for Mason Little, who's still in this game.
Definitely interesting to see Turner be pulled out of this game after being absolutely perfect on the night and ending on a perfect note, I guess.
Yeah, 3 for 3, 5 runs batted in, a homer, and pretty good defensive work as well at first base.
Those are numbers. Those are some great numbers. Just basically maybe said, all right, let's quit while you're ahead. Let's quit while you're absolutely perfect. And Coleman Perry, he's got a good stretch of this game off. Thought maybe he'd get a full night off, but not the case. He's going to get a little bit of action near the end of this game.
Could be one of those things where you're up late in the game. You just kind of want that defensive switch potentially as well, just to make sure you're kind of solidified at first base.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Turner's been at first before. I mean, in past seasons as well, that's been his place to go. And he's definitely a strong glove over at first as well. So I would trust either one of those guys to close out a game, honestly. But like you say, it could just be a change and just kind of getting everybody into the game. 1-2 the count to Kita Fugino. It's 1 for 2. And he hits this in the gap for a base hit out in left field. So Fugino giving his team a little bit of life here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, a couple singles for him in this game as he splits the gap between third and short, getting on looks here, and that looks like it's going to end the night here for Mason Little.
And Fugino's been the guy that's come around to score twice for Fort McMurray as well when he gets on base. So it's always been good news when he gets on base, and that will be the night for Mason Little. So I would say good night back for Mason Little here in Sylvan Lake. Okay, so the ball was taken out of his glove. He's still hanging out on the mound, but
just buying a little bit more
some time and chatting with his teammates before he exits this game. And now Ryan Kusi comes in, and we'll take the ball and we'll step aside, allow Ryan to warm up. We'll be back with more Gulls baseball right here on FloCollege. Fort McMurray sent number 40 to the mound already tonight. Well, now Sylvan Lake's turn. They're going to send number 40 themselves. That's Ryan Kusi coming into this game. And Kusi's had over 12 innings of work done. He's got only given up 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, 1.42 ERA to help close out this ball game. We are still here in the top half of the 7th inning.
You look at that ERA, 1.42. Oh, that's pretty good. It's 5th in the league.
Yeah.
There's guys who are sub-1. Shows how good the pitching has been across the WCBL this season.
And they're sending the runner. He had a great lead over from first to second. It was Kita Fugino. He kind of stutter-stepped a little bit before the ball was released from the pitcher. Should have Kusi turned around. He would have maybe had him in a rundown, but look at this play. He kind of stutter-stepped, and then he finally committed to it, realizing, okay, no, I'm going.
And by the time he committed, he was most of the way there as well.
Exactly, yeah.
It's good timing there from Fugino.
And interesting to see too, with the leaders in pitching as the ERA is concerned. What kind of sample size are they looking at? How many innings? Is it comparable? I don't know, because it's so early in the season. I mean, you have it right in front of you there. And
it's hard to say. There's any of those guys I don't see on the same list for innings pitched, so it could be, like you said, a little bit of a smaller sample size.
Not to take away from Kusi by any means. I mean, that That's a great ERA in 12 innings of work. That's still a lot of innings that you had to battle through.
Only 2 runs given up, 7 strikeouts.
Yeah. So this is Marcus Orocho, 2 for 3. And Kusi steps off. And you're going to start to see, I think, Giants maybe put a little bit of pressure here, pour some, gutsy decisions out on the field. They're going to take some chances here. That's for sure.
Saw that with the stolen base, and Fugino still bouncing around near that second base, maybe trying to get in the head of Ryan Kusi, try to see if he's going to go to 3 or not. And if not, try to get a good jump if there's going to be a ball in play.
And this is a throw to second. Safe. And actually, I remember that the boys on the WCBL report, Joe McFarland and Clark Monroe, they're talking about Ryan Kusi. And a fun fact about Kusi, and Joe McFarland, a shout out to him, he actually just texted me and reminded me this, but I already saw it earlier this week. As it's a 2-2 count, this is going to be lifted into center field. Coming in on it is Charlie Collins to make the catch for out number 2. But back to my story about Ryan Kusi. He started his collegiate career as an infielder, and he played with the Edmonton Prospects as well a couple years ago. He had a good arm, so the coach actually ended up having him throw in the bullpen, liked what he saw, and made the transition over the last couple of seasons to being a pitcher.
That's a pretty neat story.
Yeah, so like he was definitely not a pitcher until just literally a couple years ago.
And he was still getting some at-bats at St. Bonaventure University this past season as well.
Yeah.
Had 10 plate appearances, or 10 at-bats.
Yeah. And I remember Kusi with the Prospects, and he played third base.
It's funny how baseball, you can have someone see something in your game and go, I think you might be playing, there might be a better position for you. And the way he's pitched, like, he's been lights out. It's been a good switch for him in his career, it seems.
I had the pleasure to have Joe McFarland up here in the playoffs last year in the WCBL finals. He was watching the Regina Red Sox and the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and the guy's still continuing to provide a little color from at home with the text and the fun facts. That guy knows everything in and around baseball. Hence why he is one of the main guests in the WCBL reports, obviously with the Alberta Dugouts.
Yes.
Alberta Dugout Stories.
That's a great account, great website to follow anything baseball related.
And good podcast, too. They do a great job with it. So congratulations, Joe. Thanks again for tuning in and watching us from, I believe you're from Calgary. Kusi with another pitch, and that is fouled off. 2 down. Runner at second. That's Kita Fugino has made his way over. He stole a base. Nick Sove at the plate. And it's a strikeout on Sove for Ryan Kusi. So another K goes up on the fence, this time for Kusi's number 40, and it'll be a 7th inning stretch when we come back. Well, before this game got underway, it was 12 degrees Celsius, cloudy and breezy and chilly. The sun has since come out a little bit, but the fans have stuck through it from first pitch till now. And you want to know the fan attendance? 1,168 fans still coming out to brave this cold weather that we've had here in Central Alberta. Absolutely incredible. Incredible fans, dedicated.
Hats off to the fans for showing up. Whether the weather's good or not, they are still coming to the games, and it's good to see. Obviously, it's a good product. We've seen it the last few years here in Sylvan Lake. It's fun games to come to.
Yeah, tipping the cap to all fans, and honestly, all fans throughout the league. I mean, I love the fan base that we get in this summer league in Canada, Western Canada. It's incredible. We get to chat with them down on the field after the game sometimes. You know, obviously the parents that come all the way up from, you know, Texas and Florida and
maybe
all
even
over
Australia.
the States, Australia. This ball hit is hit so hard, it's leaving me speechless. It's out of here.
That one may as well have gone to Australia.
That almost could have went all the way to Australia. Maddox Shaver. I told you he doesn't go quiet in the night very often, and he has a solo homer in his name here tonight. Continues to lead this team in home runs, now with 6 on the year.
If you're going to hit one, you may as well hit it right out of the park, as he swung on that one, turned on it. As that one went sky high and out of the park. Welcome to the game, Maddox Shaver.
Better late than never, I guess. And this is another well-hit ball into left field as Cooper Sazelski continues to have his bat rolling as of late.
The Gulls, it seems like when they get hits, they keep them coming and coming. And they follow up a solo home run with a single from Cooper Sazelski. And it looks like he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner here. So lots of changing going on as Dom Giusti will enter the game and take his place on the bags.
A good way to end the night for Cooper Sazelski. Going 2 for 4 at the plate. You'll be very happy with that. That'll bring up John Boy Rittenhouse, who had a double back in that 6th inning. And they throw down to first, and Giusti just getting back in time. That was pretty close. Good throw there by the pitcher in Sam Hyland. Wow. Okay, Sylvan Lake really putting some innings together here.
You look at the scoreboard, and all of a sudden there's only 2 scoreless innings that the Gulls have played. There's just consistent offense happening.
Yeah, the bat's
0-1,
definitely
0-3, 1-1-1, and they're shutting things down defensively on the other side.
Yeah, 12 hits too there. Like, that's some good stuff. You know, I think we said it in the pregame show coming into tonight. The Sylvan Lake Gulls finally starting to find their groove.
Mm-hmm. And the Giants applied pressure early on in this game. They're trying to bounce back from last night. They kind of had a little bit of a late rally, but the Gulls responded with that, and it seems like the Gulls now, they're figuring out how to play ball, and they're able to win games in a lot of different ways.
Well, the thing with the Giants is they got batters in their lineup. They got guys that can hit the ball. They got 8 hits, and John Boy Rittenhouse hits this high, deep center field. Going all the way back is Santiago, and he'll make the catch. Just making the catch shy of the warning track. That had a pretty good charge in it.
But to build off your last point there, like the Gulls, it seems like the difference is they're able to get a string of hits together.
Yeah.
When you get 2-3 in, and if you capitalize with a home run, that's 3 runs there. If not, you're getting 1-2 runners at a time, and that's certainly the difference in this game.
Yeah, they're able to manufacture the runs a little bit more for sure. Coleman Perry also on deck. You just saw it there on your screen. He's getting ready for his first at-bat in this ball game. Tylen Graves at the dish, who has been 3 for 3 on the night.
So it looks like that'd be a double switch. Elijah Hamill coming in as a pinch runner, and then he was replaced defensively for Coleman Perry. That's what it appears to be.
Yep.
Now that we're at that part in the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. Silver Lake making a lot of moves in this game. Not something we're used to seeing really this year yet, is all the defensive parts that are being moved around and new guys coming in and shuffling things around. And that's with new head coach Matt Hape. We got to chat with actually head coach Jason Chatwood last night after the game, as he was brought in for Beyond the Bases, and and kind of getting a feel for him in a manager role a little bit. I mean, he said it's definitely different. It's not something that he's used to. It's taking some getting used to. And he said just a lot to let the guys down there do their job. Matt Hape, it's up to Matt Hape now, and so far Matt Hape's done a pretty good job with this squad. Helps to have Andrew Parks come in as well. You know, he's got some of that major league experience too. That's pretty huge and key, I would think, for this ball club. And then you got Wyatt McKnight, who's been here a life longer since Matt Hape and Jason Chatwood since day one. So, you know, great to see these guys just continuing to coach this baseball club like they can, creating their own reputation.
And obviously, all this baseball is meant to develop players.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're certainly doing that.
Yep. And Graves hits this high, and it's kind of falling shallow. Right field, and a catch made by the second baseman, Keita Fugino, this time kind of, if you remember from a few innings ago, this time redeems himself.
Yes.
And that's a hard catch to make, and he had to be careful that he didn't run into Braden Dick. Good job by Braden Dick to kind of take a look and kind of step off last second.
Yeah, and Sun's coming out a little bit too, trying to make that over-the-shoulder catch, and the way he's running is kind of into the sunlight as well, so not a lot that was lining up to make it an easy play for Fugino, but a good job there for him to record the out.
Coleman Perry now in this game, and he hits this on the ground and into the hole for a base hit. And Justy's kind of got caught here, hesitating, and he's safe. That's Sam Pylan all the way over at third, and he ended up dropping that ball and not able to make the tag out, but he touched the bag with the ball, however, not in time.
Justy saw no one's covering third. Maybe I should go, and that hesitation almost got him out. If he just went, he might have had a lot cleaner of a look, because the third baseman there in Tetreault, he was kind of down and out, and Orocho kind of watched that ball go by and then go, oh, maybe I should be covering a bag, and at the same time, that's when Pyland went over as well. He almost made the play, just kind of dropped it at the last second.
Yeah, he's lucky that Pyland dropped it and couldn't touch the bag in time.
So way to stretch that one out, though.
No doubt. And now Coleman Perry is trying to draw the throw to second, and you know it's not going to really work well when you're looking at the catcher the whole time while you're running to second, like you're going to try to steal. That wasn't fooling anybody on that play. This is Brett Patillo. Good heads-up play there with Juicy over at third. I love the whole turning back and looking at the catcher the whole time he's running down to second. Like, come and get me.
Just with some of the things he's done, like in-game and celebration-wise, it's almost like watching a skit.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of character to him, doesn't he?
Yep.
He's got a good personality on him. Love the kid.
Seen him do the Key and Peele skit on some
Key and Peele, yeah.
Winning celebrations.
Really would love to see that come into play tonight.
Yes.
And talking to him about that skit, he's like, you like that? Really? Oh, okay, all right. Well, I might have to keep doing it then. So, always fun. Always, the guys are having fun. It's baseball, and we're all having fun. And this hits Gavin Glenns, and in a way, that's kind of not what you wanted, because
see his reaction there.
You know, if he didn't sell that as hitting him, that could have maybe scored a run.
Yeah.
But instead, he'll load the bases. Not very often you see a player almost complain by getting hit by a pitch to go down to first. And as soon as he got hit, he turned around and he realized, and he's like, oh, dang. I didn't want that to happen.
I think I just want the ball.
I wanted to let that go back. and go past me and back to the screen, but that'll be the night for another pitcher on the mound for Fort McMurray, I would think, as Sam Pylan's going to have this ball taken out of his glove, and a new pitcher will be called in. So we'll step aside one more time. We're still in the bottom of the 7th here, 2 away. Gulls lead at 7-3. New pitcher on the mound, Scott. Braden Schneider. Redondo Beach, California kid. Goes to Feather River College. Looking to come and limit the damage that the Sylvan Lake Gulls have done with bases loaded situation. 2 down. And Michael Quick stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, Schneider's had 3 1/3 innings pitched so far this season with Fort McMurray. 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 2.7 ERA, so pretty solid numbers. And looking to kind of get out of a jam here. Bases juiced.
Very juicy. Juicy just looking to score. One and 0 the count as that pitch goes outside. So far, Michael Quick has gotten on base 2 times, but he hits this right to a standing still Marcus Aracho, and that will retire the inning. But the Sylvan Lake Gulls do get another run scored thanks to this guy leading things off with a huge homer, a no-doubter by Maddox Shaver. there's our public address announcer, Joe Whitbread, on the screen. He's the guy that announces the batters here in-house.
Number 24, Brett Patillo.
What a voice. That guy's a legend. A legend in these parts, I tell ya. He's a guy I looked up to growing up. He was always at the Red Deer Rebels games as the in-game host, and yeah, he's got a voice on him, and now I get to work with him on a daily basis, which is awesome. Great to have him, and he's a hard-working guy here at the ballpark. He's your Beyond the Bases guy as well, your Beyond the Bases host, post-game show with him and Jared Waldo.
Yeah, one of the big faces and voices in Central Alberta, that's
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah. And that's hit in the gap, right up the middle. Another base hit for the Fort McMurray Giants, this time coming off the bat of Brett Patillo.
Sent that one just up the middle enough to get by Tylen Graves. You don't see that too often. But he gets the Giants in a good spot to start off this 8th inning here.
It's always funny when I come to the games and I have friends that come to the games and then they said, yeah, was that you that I was listening to at the game? I'm like, no, unfortunately, that's not me. But to be compared to Joe Whitbread, I mean, I'll take that. As if you're commonly mistaking me with him, hey, that's a compliment. I will take that any day of the week. This is Braden Dick now at the batter's box, 0-1. (7-3), the Sylvan Lake Gulls lead the Fort McMurray Giants, out hitting them 13-9. Fort McMurray, though, continuing to pile up hits. Just their only thing is not being able to drive them in.
Yeah, they've gotten those lead-off, maybe one-out hits quite a bit in this game, and it's pretty much where they get left. They might get over to second base, but eventually they all get stranded.
I'm counting 7 base runners stranded so far. 7 base runners stranded that I could see. Obviously, there was a double play in there that took a couple runners off, obviously, or a runner off. And that's a strike as Braden Dick was starting to make his way down to first base. Full count. But one thing that Giants haven't had is they haven't really got into scoring position much lately. And this is hit right off the tip of the glove. Coleman Perry thought he had it. And now they're going to have a throw to second. And that's going to be an out because Brett Patillo thought, just like Coleman Perry thought, he caught that ball to try to get back before the double play was on. But so because of that little bit of a delay in that slide back, it allowed the Gulls to then recover well and get that ball over to second in time for at least one out.
That's a strange play there, as it just kind of popped in and out of the glove of Perry, and might have had a double up there had he, stabbed that one out of the air, but instead they'll just get the lead runner headed to second, which is still productive defensively.
This is hit on the ground to Shaver, who might look for a double play here. Graves in time, not in time, and in fact, it gets away from Coleman Perry, but again, they get the leading runner over at second. And a little bit of a rush. Diesel Santiago's got wheels, so you have to be quick on this. And Maddox Shaver does that with Graves, but Graves sees how fast Santiago is, and maybe that just is why he let that ball go into the turf a little bit ahead of Coleman Perry. And we've seen that a couple times last night from Graves to Perry, and Perry with a really good glove over there, that time just getting away from him. And they check Santiago over at first. He'll be all right. So another fielder's choice by Santiago getting there. Two-way on the Giants. Again, kind of they're getting guys on base, but they're kind of not getting very far around the bases.
Can't even get to second base.
No, I mean,
couple.
Last time they were at second base, it was back in the 7th inning, but that's as far as he get. It was a stolen base for Kita Fugino. But since then,
You have
other
to
than
go-
that, you go
have
back
to
to
go
the
back
third.
to third, yeah.
Yeah. When they last scored a run. And this is a great grab by Kusi. Oh, a little bit of an interesting play over to Coleman Perry. Almost flipped it right over his head, but they share some smiles and laughs as they head back to the dugout. And Kusi's like, I'm sorry, man. That one almost got away from me. But regardless, the Sylvan Lake Gulls get out of this jam a little bit, and only one base runner stranded. It is a 7-3 lead for the Gulls. Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. It's the Gulls. It's the Gulls. 7-3. They are leading over the Fort McMurray Giants. I'm sorry. I'll stop doing that. That was terrible.
I'm not going to.
That was awful.
I'm going to save the fans here, not sing.
Yeah.
I was jamming, though.
Pretty sure we just lost half our viewers right there.
It's a good thing they didn't have the camera on us.
That's good. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right? It's always recording. Yeah, we're always in trouble up here. That's true. I've learned that the hard way in some post-game shows. We'd be doing the rollout, and I'm like, oh, no. That's me. Yikes. Eli Duncan at the plate. He is 1 for 4. And he hits this high but shallow center field. Running in underneath of it is a Diesel Santiago for out number 1. But they're playing bangers at the ballpark, and it's hard not to sing along, dance along to it. I mean, we're having a blast. Got to. You got it. Just like those girls are having a blast.
Yes.
Still behind the Gulls dugout. They're just running up and down the berm, wasting some energy. Gonna have a great sleep tonight.
Oh yeah.
Parents are gonna be pumped. They'll be zonked by the time they get home. Charlie Collins. What can we say about this guy? Well, he's got an RBI single on the night. Different RBI tally than what we saw yesterday, but the RBIs continue nonetheless for the Australian. He's 1 for 4. And we get a little bit of a timeout as the right fielder came over to kind of grab that ball. It ended up coming into play. One and 2. A lot more fans at this point in the game as well. But last night, I think things kind of cleared out a little earlier just because of how cold it was. And strikeout to Charlie Collins there for out number 2. And that's something Fort McMurray hasn't had since the first inning, a 3-up, 3-down inning. that is.
Yeah,
So
kind of
they're
an
looking
off-speed pitch that caught up Charlie Collins.
That'll bring up the home run hitter back in the 7th inning, Maddox Shaver. He's 1 for 4, but that home run scores in another run. Cuts over top of that one. 0-2 to Shaver. Alex Shaver, he's got to be up in that. I think he's up in the counts too, with home run tallies in the league right now, with kind of among the top leaders and leading the league in certain categories. Batting average is definitely up there as well. He'll hit that foul to stay alive.
So long as there hasn't been changes with other games going on.
Yes,
that's
true.
his 6th. That ties the league lead.
Well, they actually have updated it on my end. The home run leaders is 6. They got 6 with Maddox Shaver and 6 for Jake Hiramoto. And this is hit on the ground to the shortstop, Rocho, and he makes the throw to Breen in time for out number 3. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Fort McMurray Giants. There's some work to be done, though. 4 runs down, heading to the top of the 9th. We'll be back. Ryan Kusi looking to close things out for the Sylvan Lake Gulls as they look for win number 9 on the regular season and kind of closely close in on the Lethbridge Bulls for that 2nd place spot in the West Division. Bulls 10-3, Okotoks Dogs 12-3. Sylvan Lake would be 9-6 if they can hold on to a win here tonight. And this is a new batter for the Fort McMurray Giants. It's going to be number 5 coming into this ball game, who is Jason Avila from Riverdale, Georgia. So Fort Mac kind of doing anything and everything at their power right now to get themselves back to even terms with just 3 outs left.
It's one of their better hitters, hitting 400. Small sample size, 20 at-bats, but 8 hits in that span. 5 times he's come in for runs. So looking for any spark of offense at this point in the game. It's last call for them.
He's down in the count, 1-2. He's got 5 strikeouts already on the summer. Watches that go by inside for a ball. Well, the strikeout tally definitely has slowed down for the Sylvan Lake Gulls ever since Jordan Clark was in this game. Clark putting up 7. This is off the fists. Right to John Boy making the throw with a one hopper to Perry. Snatches it up and it's 1 down.
Rittenhouse got to that one pretty routinely on the run, and that kind of slowed down one hopper over to Coleman Perry, but he's able to haul it in, get the out in time.
And he, you notice how he's added some layers since his last time he was out. He's got the old face mask on now. Kind of looks like a ninja. That's what those guys remind me of when they're all dressed up like that. So this was Miguel Tetro. He's 0 for 3 on the night, and all 3 strikeouts. In fact, my apologies. This is not Miguel Tetro. This is going to be another pinch hitter. Number 25 this time, Joey Hecker.
Hecker comes from Pullman, Washington, going to Washington State University.
And he's only had 13 at-bats, hitting .231. So yeah, Fort Mac just looking to change things up here. Anything they can to stay alive in this ball game. And Hecker fouls that right off the pole of the netting. Kind of made a kind of unique doing sound.
New sponsorship opportunity?
There you go. If we're going to hit that pole, yeah.
If you can doink it here.
If you can doink one off the pole, yeah. That's a once in a maybe season you're going to see that happen. I don't know if I've ever actually seen it happen. And there's a strikeout for Ryan Kusi. And I believe that is his 2nd strikeout of the night for himself. So that'll bring up back to the top of the batting order, who's been pretty good tonight, Keita Fugino. He's 2 for 3. He's been probably one of their more dangerous batters in the lineup, and he hits this into the right field. That could be extra bases. Fugino's turning on the wheels here. A strong left-handed arm throw down to second, and it's not in time. What a play that would have been to end this ball game. I mean, what an arm by Charlie Collins back in right field, as Dom Juicy's now at center, and he really tested Keita Fugino. I thought Fugino was for sure getting extra bases, no problem. Turns out that throw came in very quickly, and no, Fugino just slid in there in time.
Quite the cannon on Collins there.
Wow, yeah, that was an arm. Great try, great attempt. So another base hit. That's extra bases for Fugino, and that'll bring up another pinch hitter. Or no, this is number 21, so this is Marcus Orocho, who's going to remain in the lineup. He's 2 for 4 on the night.
But going back to Fugino, only once he hasn't been on base. 3 singles and a walk as well, so a pretty productive night. He's the spark for the Giants, just hasn't lit any fires anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just kind of the, I guess, the frustrating thing about the Giants in tonight's game, and I mean even a little bit into last night's game, is the hits are there, just they can't seem to manufacture runs.
No.
Down to the last strike. That's down and away.
And twice Fugino's been one of the runners to come in to score, so he's got 2 of the 3 runs scored by the Giants. He's done everything he can in this game, just hasn't had some of the help from his teammates.
Sylvan Lake fans, slow clap begins. 1 and 2 to Arocho. Ryan Kusi comes in and he strikes him out. Sylvan Lake Gulls take both games against the Fort McMurray Giants and knock them off 7-3 here tonight. Great strikeout by Ryan Kusi to end this ball game. Sylvan Lake now improving their record to 9-6 on the season, remaining in third place of that West Division. So we take a look at this replay here. He might have got a little bit of the benefit of the call on that one, as that was a little low.
Nice curveball, though. Picks up his third strikeout of the game. Had 2 to close out the inning in the 9th. Gets the second out and the third out via the strikeout, and Gulls win.
A big win at that, too, for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, as, you know, they may have had the Fort Mac Giants ahead at the beginning of this game, and you know what? Good on the Gulls to just not go anywhere, and they battled. They battled back into this game quickly. They finally take the lead, and then once they take that lead, they don't look back, and they hold on to that lead going right to the bitter end. So it was all around, again, a complete team effort, and one of those games, again, where things are clicking in the right way.
Yeah, the Gulls were having a pretty solid night. The Giants got out to that early lead, like you mentioned. The Gulls worked their way back into the game slowly, steadily, and put up some numbers consistently to close out a 7-3 win. So the Gulls did a good job all night long. Some very good hitting as well from Tylen Graves as well as Bryce Turner.
Let's hand things down to Jared Waldo standing by with our EG Auctions Player of the Game.
Into the Player of the Game. Here's Jared Waldo to introduce us. Wally?
Thank you very much, Joe. Your EG Auctions Player of the Game, Bryce Turner. Bryce, welcome back to Sylvan Lake. Talk about the win tonight.
It was good. It was good to get in the win column. I think that's 4 in a row, right? We started off pretty slow, but it's been good to get a few wins and keep it rolling.
You know, you had yourself a great night. 3 for 3 at the plate, 3-run shots, 5 RBIs. You were feeling it tonight.
Yeah, it's about time. I haven't been seeing it well, but tonight I saw it really well. But sometimes you have days like that. Sometimes you have bad days.
You know, is it nights like tonight where you have such a good night that can build that momentum and confidence for, you know, the next time you approach the plate?
For sure, for sure. I mean, sometimes when you're seeing it well, it just carries over, and I hope that's the case here.
Talk about being back in Sylvan Lake, welcoming back. It probably wasn't as cold as you remembered, but just talk about being back in Sylvan Lake for another season with the Gulls.
Oh, it's great to be back. Yeah, the weather hasn't been as I remember, but I hope it gets better in July. But it's great to be back. I love it here.
Well, we appreciate you being here, and we're looking forward to some more wins as the season rolls on.
Thank you.
Your EG Auctions Player
well,
of the Game.
that's baseball, isn't it? I mean, sometimes you're seeing the ball well, and sometimes you're just not. And Bryce Turner, I guess, capped it off perfectly. He said, well, tonight was a good night for me, as he hugs a guy that he knows on the Fort McMurray Giants lineup. But, yeah, Bryce Turner, finally, for him, he says, yeah, finally it's about time. You know what? We knew it was in this guy to come alive eventually. And you know what? Hopefully, like he said, it now carries over into the next couple of games when he gets that opportunity and gets back in the lineup.
And we've seen it kind of similarly with Cooper Soselski as well. Kind of had a slower start to the season, but the last couple of games he's strung a few hits together, and I imagine this is what we're going to see from Bryce Turner over the next few games.
Well, now the Sylvan Lake Gulls, they got Brooks Bombers tomorrow night, and this is a team that last time they were down there, they lost a pair in Brooks. You got to wonder, these wins here back at home, especially against Brooks to finish up the weekend, and then, of course, against the Fort McMurray Giants, it's got to probably carry over some confidence down to Brooks tomorrow.
Yeah, a little bit of home cooking has done them well these last few games, and now you get a chance to kind of dish it back to Brooks at home. You had a sour taste in your mouth the last time you were there, maybe drop some games you don't want to, but you pick them back up at home, and now you have a chance to do it all again. You see them a lot of times throughout the season, so you kind of got to get them back, and this is their chance.
Well, one thing's for sure, the Sylvan Lake Gulls weren't just relying on one guy to do it all here tonight. They had a couple performances from a few different guys that were doing a really good job in this game to kind of close out the win for another win for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Now 4 in a row, as Bryce Turner said. Jordan Clark got things started on the right foot. 7 Ks for Clark on the mound. And, you know, a little bit of help maybe in the outfield for the Giants slipping there, but Bryce Turner, just an absolute line drive bomb over the left field wall. That really picked up the momentum for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And from there, they never really slowed down after that. I mean, you got great defensive plays from guys like Tylen Graves, and, you know, Snapman even got the crowd back into it. And then, of course, Maddox Shaver. He was quiet all night until then, and then he drives a solo homer over the left field wall. So overall, all in all, a great night performance for the Sylvan Lake Gulls as they get ready for the Brooks Bombers tomorrow. They take this one 7-3 over the Giants. For Scott Stimson, Calvin Bells, and Green Onion Media, I'm Cale Clark with another Bird's Eye View.